If you want to rank up fast in Season 3, then you clicked on the right video. I've been one of the top ranked players for over 6 seasons now, and I've hit Unreal rank in the first week of every season. And today I'm going to be showing all of you how to rank up in the fastest way possible in the new Star Wars season. So if you guys do enjoy, make sure to like and subscribe, go check out my other socials, use code Farley, but now onto the video. Now first things first, let's talk about the best game mode that you can play to rank up fast. So first off, the game mode that's going to rank you up the fastest is solos, because when you get in a fight in solos, each kill will count as a team wipe, meaning more points per kill, and vice versa. If you were to play squads, you would have to kill every player in that squad to get the kills to count as a team wipe. So every kill you get in solos is going to count for more than if you were playing squads. But another thing you need to think about is what game mode you're best at, because you may suck at solos and die off spawn, or you just can't fight as a solo in general. If that's you, then you should probably play duos or trios or squads or anything like that, because you're going to have an easier time ranking up. But you are going to rank up slower because, as I mentioned before, kills count as team wipes. Now that we've covered the best game mode, let's talk about the best way to rank up in-game, which is kills. Now kills are one of the 3 main ways to rank up faster, but there's a huge misconception about kills, because what a lot of people don't know is that the amount of points you get per kill is based upon how many people are left. For example, if we were to compare an Offspawn kill versus an Endgame kill, the Endgame kill would count for over 3 times the amount of points of what an Offspawn kill would give you. So that means when you're dropping in from the battle bus in a new rank game, you shouldn't just be prioritizing kills off spawn and W-king everybody, because you're not going to get a lot of points per kill. Instead, you need to prioritize getting all your mats and loot up, and then get into mid and end game and then start fighting. Also, not only do you get points per kill, but you also get points for assists. So let's say I get someone super weak, but someone sprays him and he steals my kill. That's okay, because I'll still get partial credit for that kill. So don't be discouraged if someone steals your kill, you will still get some points. Also, that means that you should try and fight as many people as possible, even if you can't get close to them. So if you see people fighting in the distance and you know you can't even pick up the kill, still spray them and you're still going to get some points if they kill the player. Moving on now, let's talk about the second and the most consistent way to rank up, and that is through placement points. Now obviously, the longer you go in a game, the more rank points you're going to get for that game. But the biggest problem with a lot of players is that they're not consistent. They have one good game where they place high, and then they load into their next game, and then they die off spawn, and they don't know why. So there's a few pieces of advice I would give you in order to always consistently place high in games. First things first, always have a plan. So when you're sitting in the bus, look for a low-key drop spot so you don't die off spawn. It's also probably not a good idea to land at one of the new 4 brand new POIs, because everybody's just going to be landing there. So instead, maybe think about landing at one of the old POIs that's going to have a lot less people so you don't die off spawn. Also, another thing I think a lot of people forget about nowadays is radio towers. Playing for radio towers is probably the most consistent way to grab placement points and win games consistently, because you're going to know where the zone is before anyone else, meaning you can get to zone before everyone else and hold others in zone and pick up free wins. So maybe think about basing your drop spot around one of these radio towers on the map. The next 2 steps to your plan should be to have a optimized loot route so you have the most loot possible, and know where all the best spots to farm mats are, so that if you get in a fight off spawn, you have a better chance of winning. Doing this plan, going into mid and end game, you're going to be a lot more stacked, which means you're going to place higher. Now the final way that you can rank up fast and reach Unreal rank on paper is winning games. Now this is going to give you the most rank points possible out of any of the ways to get points. But I understand that winning is way easier said than done for a lot of you watching this video. So there's a few pieces of advice I would give you to help you consistently win ranked games. First things first, always rotate to zone early, because this season there's no more bats, and that means all the movement items in the game are used up really quickly. So once you get to endgame, you're probably not going to have any movement to use. So that means you need to get into zone a lot earlier than you normally did last season. If you don't go into zone early and you're too busy fighting, other players are going to get in zone and they're going to hold you, and you're going to run out of mats, and then you're going to die. So it's very important to go to zone early so that you have a better chance of winning. Now every time you jump into a ranked game, it's going to be different in some way or another. But it's always going to be broken down into 3 different parts: off spawn, mid game, and end game. So really quickly, let me show you how to play each part of a ranked game perfect so that you can hit Emperor rank before all your friends. So first things first, in this ranked game, I'm going to pick my drop spot and have a plan. So I picked the Imperial base as my drop spot because I want to fight for the medallion off spawn. And I know that the majority of the players are going to land on this side of the POIs. So instead, I'm going to land on this side of the POI, because if you go around the left side, you're going to be able to come up on the boss without getting shot. So I'm going to land, loot all the chests around me. After I get my loot off spawn, I then need to remember to get good mats so that if I get in a fight, I have more mats than the other player. So I drop down here and I'm able to farm this brick and this tree, so now I have good mats going into the rest of this game. When I head over towards the medallion. When I head over to the medallion, another player had already gotten the mythic, I'm going to start pressuring him, but he's going to run away with a shockwave grenade, so I'm going to chase him. After chasing this player down, I realize he wants to run away, so I'm going to place a cone in his box so that when he shockwaves, the shockwave won't work. And now I'm just going to start to apply some pressure. And eventually, I am able to jump into this player's box, pump him once, and then spray him, and then pick up a quick kill, giving me the mythic AR and the medallion. After I got that kill, I then made sure to head into zone early because I didn't have a lot of movement, but luckily there's a lot of launch pads around here that you can use to rotate. Now that I've lived off spawn, we can move on to the next part of this video, which is mid-game. Now when you're fighting in mid-game, it's very important that you learn how to end fights quickly, so let me show you a quick technique on how to do so. So an example of how to do this in mid-game would be right here. This player's above me, I see him, I'm able to spray him with my mythic AR, and I'm able to crack him. When I crack him, he's super weak, so I need to make sure I apply pressure so that he doesn't have time to med up. See how I'm just going to apply pressure and track him through the builds to make sure he doesn't have time to med up. And when I realize this player makes 2 boxes of space, I look down while I'm swinging on his wall, and I notice there's no wall in between both of his boxes. That means I can freely swing in, and all I'm going to do is break the floor while holding out a wall and a cone. This is now going to put piece control in between me and the other player, and I know he's super weak, so all I have to do is edit, take one final shot, and then pick up a quick kill. Moving on, now let's talk about another way that you can dominate mid-game fights, and that is with the timing of your edits. A quick example of how to do this would be right here. I see this player in front of me. Obviously, I'm going to spray him, and I'm going to break his car, and I'm going to start to approach his box. Now, while I'm approaching this player's box, I'm going to spray into his box and jump in. But he's able to get out of that box, and now he has control of the entire box around me. So that means if I try and get out of this box, this other player is going to try and edit on me. So I'm going to pickaxe swing, and then I'm going to pull out my pump so that if the player edits, I can shoot back and get some counter damage. This now gets him super weak on HP, and now he's forced to box up and med up. And after throwing down my blob, I keep my health advantage, and then I can start to push the player again. After this player is super weak, I need to make sure I apply pressure so he doesn't have time to get to full health. Now while I'm spraying this player, I'm going to make sure to take all of his walls from a right hand peek and play super patient so that he can't see me. And it's also going to force the other player to eventually leave the box, and when I apply enough pressure, the player doesn't have a lot of health and he's forced to push me. And when this player side jumps, I'm going to block him off so I don't take any damage, and then I'm going to play patient and see what he does. When I see he's double editing up, I know this wall is free to grab. So I'm going to grab the wall in between me and him, and I'm going to let him shoot the wall. After he shoots the wall, that's when I edit, because now he has shotgun delay, and I can edit, hit him for a significant amount of damage. Now he's super weak. After I crack the player, notice how I'm now going to reset the wall, and I'm going to hold it to make sure that when the other player tries to shoot and steal the wall, I can keep it and then claim it. And again, the player has shotgun delay, so I know I can make a wide edit without taking any damage, and I can pump the player and then pick up a quick kill. Now since all of the new guns have infinite ammo, that means you're going to be on defense a lot and you're going to get sprayed a ton. So it's very important to learn how to turn defense into offense. So in this fight right here, for example, I see this guy trying to drive away in the car. Obviously, I'm going to open my window and look at him, but the other player is going to get out of his car and he's going to beam me for a bunch of damage. After he's cracked me, obviously he's going to get in his car and start pushing me. So I pop 2 of my slap juices and then pop my big pot. When this player is approaching my box, I know he wants to try to grab my walls, and I'm not going to let him be aggressive. I'm going to turn my defense into aggression. So when the player goes up to my wall, I'm going to edit when I realize he goes up, and I'm going to shoot the floor that he's standing on and then spray it with my AR because it does a bunch of structure damage. This is now going to drop him into my box and he can't build a wall because I just edited that wall. So now I'm going to be able to pump him, crack him. Now he's weak and I'm just going to keep pressuring him, and I caught him off guard, so he fumbles, he panics, and he drops himself back down, and I'm able to pump him and then pick up a quick elimination. But that was just because I caught this player off guard and I turned my defense into offense. Moving on, now let's talk about the final and most important part of this video, and that is endgame, and how I win rank games consistently and how you guys can too. Now the number one way that you are going to win rank games is with your positioning, because if you get in a better position than everyone else, you're going to be able to hold others in zone. And since there's barely any movement this season, more than likely the other people are going to be running in the open, and you can just spray them and pick up free kills. So for example, in this game right here, I'm sitting on the hill and I notice zone is pulling over here. So instead of rotating late and then letting other people hold me, I'm going to go to zone before everyone else and get in the best position out of anyone else. Doing this is now going to allow me to look at the rest of the lobby, spray them and hold them and grief everybody. And when I see this other player in the open, obviously I'm going to spray him, get him super weak, and I realize he's not that good, so I'm just able to spray him and pick up a kill. And again, the zone closes and I realize I need to get a zone early if I want to win this game. So I do that again, I get into position, and then I can hold everyone else. Doing this allows me to get in a better position than everyone else, and I'm able to kill the last 2 players in the lobby, and I'm able to pick up a free win. So make sure when you're fighting in endgame and you want to win games consistently, you go to zone early and you get in the best position out of anyone in the lobby, so that winning is almost 100% guaranteed. But that is going to wrap up this video, so if you guys did enjoy, make sure to like and subscribe. I'll be live later today and posting a new meta video later in the week. But with that, I'm out. Peace.